Well, good evening. Welcome to Virtual Pool 4 Online, or good afternoon, I should say. We are about a minute and a half away from our first match today in the 2021 8-Ball World Championships. If we bring the tournament up, we can see the first match is in the one-loss side between Fast Eddie and Spectredawn, and that's going to go at the bottom of the hour at 5:30 GMT. And then later on, we have a winner's side match with Sergeresh and Hazad. That's at 7 p.m. I noticed that Stubb has finally agreed a sensible time to play Jeeves. It's going to be 7 p.m. Tomorrow night, which is good. So that'll be the first time we'll get to see Stubb in the tournament. Meanwhile, we're waiting on Hairpig arriving.
Hello.
Oh, good afternoon. Speak of the devil. I don't know whether anybody's in the stream at all, so we can't do a sound check yet until we get some sort of response. But, well...
It says 5 viewers, but I think I'm one of them.
Yeah, so. And I think...
Yep.
Oh, there's
DJ Simon.
There's Simon. Belated happy birthday, Simon. What was I going to say? I've got an idea how this match is going to go. Fast Eddie, first of all, doesn't have to live up to his name. He needs to be Steady Eddie rather than Fast Eddie. And if he can cut out the errors, he'll have a chance. But he's bound to make more errors probably than Spectredawn. And Spectredawn finds ways to get out. He's more consistent, so he's going to be the favourite. I don't know about your opinion, but that's the way I see it. And it's only a race to 8.
Yeah, Spectredawn has to be the favorite here. Fast Eddie is a perfectly competent player, but Spectredawn's one of the best.
Well, this is a good start. I can't get into the room.
I'm in the room and it says you're here.
Yeah, I'm not getting in though. I'm just saying entry. Oh, look, I think we might have some success here. We're in at last.
All right, and so is Fast Eddie. So we're waiting on Spectredawn.
Good evening to Bedhead. Good evening to Dwight. Good evening to Cobra. And Mark's here as well. The usual suspects. So here we go for the lag. Fast Eddie's on the top of the HUD, so he's at the bottom of the screen then. Is that the instruction I got from Rotor Monkey that I'm trying to remember? We'll find out.
Yeah. Or more specifically, if you just had the habit of looking at the table from the other side during the lag, then...
yeah, Fast Eddie won.
They'd line up with their names.
So, just a quick message to any of the guys who didn't hear that in the chat. Stubb has finally agreed his match with Jeeves. Jeeves messaged me last night in the chat in the lobby. He still thinks I'm a TD for some reason. And I said to him, he said he was having problems getting Stubb to agree a time. Stubb is in the States, Jeeves is in England, and of course Stubb comes up with the 2 AM in the morning time slot for a match. So I told him, I sent him a message on Facebook, that ain't going to happen. This guy's got work in the morning. So anyway, he's finally seen common sense. I think he's realised the outcome of his last messing about cost him dearly. So he's shown a bit of sense, and it's going to be 7 PM tomorrow night. So how does this look then for Shay? Fast Eddie on the solids. Well, again, that's a cardinal sin in 8-ball. He's still got a shot in the 3.
He does, but in the 7 didn't roll quite far enough to be real bad. It goes in the side, so I think if he draws toward the 10, he should probably end up on the 7 or the 4.
Good evening to Spectre.
The 4, because if he could go 4, 7, 5, that would be I think, the best end pattern. I would definitely shoot 475 from here.
Yeah, he's got more angle than he really needs on this 4. That's the problem. He's just trying to
I think
hold.
I'd like to hit it a little lower and come out between the 13 and the 10.
Yeah, I think he's worried about trying to hold the pace off this shot and still stay in line for a shot. I think he's okay.
He did, but he got a little awkwardly thin on the 7. Now he's going to have angle on the 5.
Well, you know, the angle's there and it's off the rail. Well, at least I think it's off the rail.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to play the 8 in the opposite pocket that I was imagining he would. He doesn't have the stop shot on the 5 option anymore.
Got to get across as close as he can to that left rail.
Yeah, without scratching in the opposite side. This is touchy on the 10-footer, though.
That's a good shot.
Oh, for a minute there, it looked like he was calling the wrong pocket. Sometimes going to the overhead view is disorienting. But I think we might see a break and run here from Eddie to start the match, which is exactly the tone he needs to set against Spectredawn. And there it is.
Yeah. Well, pretty much everything was good about that in terms of what I said before the match started. He has to be steady Eddie, and he didn't rush anything. Took his time.
No, and I think despite his username, he normally doesn't rush, in my experience. Meanwhile, Spectredawn has a great opportunity to answer here.
Well, it's got to be stripes, surely.
I think the stripes, yes.
Now, what about that? What ball's that? The 15? No, it's the pink 12 again.
It's the 12. It goes in both corner pockets, so shouldn't be beyond his abilities to get good position on it. Maybe right now. Yep. Yeah, it looks like 12, 14, 11, and this could be a real simple run out if he doesn't somehow run out of shape here.
For anybody who doesn't know, there was a 147 in the UK Championships today, and I've forgotten his name, but it's on YouTube.
Man makes a maximum in a major tournament like that, and still doesn't book himself any space in your brain.
Yeah, I think he got to the semi-finals of the World Championships. Was it 2 years ago? And ended up getting beat by Kyron Wilson in that amazing finish to that match. Yeah, Gary Wilson. Yep.
Oh, okay, Gary Wilson. Yep.
And,
bald guy, right?
Yeah, and I think he sights with his right eye, so he looks awkward over the cue. His cue's down his right cheek, I think, or something like that, which is unusual because most snooker players, the cue's under the chin. But he's one of a few that sight with a particular eye, and he just looks a little bit awkward when he's cueing.
And well, Spectredawn definitely played that run out the simple way.
Yeah, a good response.
Which is exactly what you want.
Well, what a change. We've had 2 racks, and the amazing thing is, both players have broken round the table. That has got to be a unique thing in this tournament.
Yeah, we literally haven't had a missed shot yet, including the breaks.
Good afternoon to Anthony. Who's Anthony? And semi-pro.
Now this is trouble. The 5 and 3, it doesn't look to me like the 3 is pocketable from any angle, and the 1 does not pass. So Fast Eddie is going to have to pull something. Yeah, he's playing a safety here. I was about to say he's going to have to pull something impressive out of his hat to make a third consecutive run out for this, to start this match. But
well, that was actually, before he actually played the shot, I was trying to get a look at what was available. There was nothing available there for Spectredawn.
Oh, for Spectre, yeah.
I mean, it was a good safety.
Yeah, the safety was very successful. The only thing that would have been better about it is if the 5 and 3 had lined up into a combo. You know, he nudged the 5 and didn't get the most fortunate of rolls on it.
Well, I'll tell you what my next shot would be, in just trying to kick in behind the 3, getting to the rail and hiding behind the 3 and 5. That's what I'd be trying to do. It needs to be delicate though.
Yeah, the 12 is pocketable past the 8. It's not quite a full pocket, but I think it's pretty much an entire pocket past the 8. And so he does have to avoid leaving Spec that ball if he plays that shot.
Oh, Anzi. Welcome, Anzi. Matt, I haven't a clue where Jover is from either.
I think he's from the Philippines, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's probably another player who doesn't have his emails forwarded to him from the game. That's a bit too heavy, I think. It might be okay, I think, now.
I can't quite tell whether he can squeak past the 3 to the contact point on the 12. No, he's not lining it up that way.
He's looking to hide behind the 8.
He could never fit behind it, but he leaves only banks on the 3.
Well, here's a pressure shot for Eddie if he's going to go hell for leather to try and take this out, because he should be on the 3, you would think, if he cuts this 1 down the rail. Big shot if he's going to go for it.
Barring a very unlucky outcome, but I think he's looking for a safety instead.
Morning to Rob. Well, we've got a few viewers in this afternoon, or this morning, depending where you are in the world. Now, by the way, guys, I don't know whether you were on the other stream when Steve came in, but on Discord, when we first connected up, I could not hear Steve at all. All I could hear was a garbled word. And so I switched it to the East Coast server, and everything seems to be working a treat.
Yeah, it seems working well for me. I'm also on the East Coast, so...
Well, you're coming through loud and clear, certainly to me. So here we go. Eddie's thought about it, and that's not going to get there.
Yeah, I think he decided his only real chance was to try to cut that 1, and I think I agree. I didn't see any safeties that I would have particularly loved the idea of playing. He didn't have the angle to just bump the 3 and nestle in under the 5, unfortunately, for him.
Well, that's going to finish way below the 9.
If he gets below the 9, that's real unfortunate.
Now, it's going to be a testy 10 or a 14.
Yeah. Well, the 10 certainly has a wide open pocket, which Spec used the very center of, so it's an excellent recovery. Now the 14 doesn't pass the 3, obviously, so he's going to want to play it in the side here. But this is a pretty natural 12, 14, 9 end pattern.
Yeah, it's a gimme, this one.
Now I know of Spec as primarily a 9-ball player on here and in real life, back when, you know, apparently years past he used to be a pretty good player in real life. but his 8-ball end patterns have looked real solid so far this match. He's ending up with, you know, four or 5 balls at the end of the rack where he doesn't really have to do anything with the cue ball.
Get ready for Stubbs' contribution. It's about to come in. He's in the room.
Yep.
But he's not in the stream, so he must be permanently banned.
I guess so. I guess that would be your department.
Yeah, I kicked him along with that other nutcase, and they've never been back since, so I think that was a good move on my part, although I say it myself.
About to go nuclear, K.
Good afternoon to Slim.
Eddie has selected the solids after Spec's dry break, first dry break of the match, I believe. Which several of these matches have been composed almost entirely of dry breaks. So we'll see how that evolves.
There we go.
There it is. Well, these balls are pretty much in the open. He was on the 5 just then. Left himself a lot of distance on the 7, but no big cluster issues. No cluster issues at all.
Yeah, he's just having to cover a fair bit of ground here. I'll tell you what the biggest problem I foresee here is this 3 ball being the last ball and trying to get to the 8. I mean, that is no good. And he might have no option though. The way he's shooting up the table, he's got no shot in the 3 the now. So, well, and I think
he has it now, but I don't think you want to be playing position from the 3 to any of these balls at this end of the table.
Now, see, that's taking a big risk. I think he knows that it's going to be difficult to get on the 8 from the 3, and he's going to be feeling forced into maybe having a go at it, but he needs to have an angle on it where he's not running into that ball next to it, whatever the ball is. And he's dead
straight now. So if he goes for the big virtual pull 4 special power draw,
he needs to watch the angle though. Yeah, see, that's now killed him. Is that the 9 ball that's there? Is that the 9 ball?
He bumped the 9 ball, but he's...
Oh no, that's the 1.
Pretty okay on the 1.
Aye, that says 1 ball. I was thinking that was the 9 ball.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, he's okay. He's got a little too much angle to comfortably come back out between the 2 and the 12. I think he might end up running into the 12 if he tried that.
See a little. So he might. What about a little stunny draw in the cut? He might miss the 2. Let's see what he does.
I think he's going to try to draw it to miss the 2.
There you go. That was nice. Sweet.
And now just a stop shot.
Well, I like everything he's doing so far.
Yeah, he identified the problems with leaving that 3 for too long, and he made sure, even though it took the big power draw, he made sure to get it out of the way when he still had multiple balls he could land on up at this end of the table.
Already this match is going pressure to one player, pressure to another, because Eddie's responded, squared the match, and now Eddie's pinched that on Spectredawn's break, which is a bigger bonus.
Yeah, I think we're only up to 1 missed pot this match, because when Spec played one that looked like it might have been a miss, I don't think it was ever available, so I'm not sure it was an intended...
Yeah, he could only see a fraction of that. I think it was a 9 ball, and he was always going to overcut it, but he didn't have any other options on at that time, because Eddie had played that pretty good safety on him.
Right, so I don't think you'd quite count that as a missed ball.
Well, the cursed dry break syndrome has dug in.
Yep, this is 2 in a row now. It is Spec's turn to answer if he can. Now the 4 ball It's obviously not ideal here.
And, well,
It does not pass the 9. It does have an available combo on the 1, or if the 1 weren't there, it would have an available pocket past the 8.
yeah, there's a fair bit of trouble here for Spectredawn to run this racket this visit. 3 balls awkward, 6 balls tucked in there.
So I would like following through off the 7 from here to get on the 6, which can go in the corner. And that starts opening up paths. He managed to get back on the 7 after getting the 1 out of the way, which maybe is even better. But he's got to get on that 6 because it doesn't pass the 3. I think he's got to do it this shot unless he has too much angle on the 7.
Well, I think the one thing he has to do here when he's potting this 7, he must get a decent angle. Well, he's going other way.
He decided to take the 4 first.
4's tight,
now
and it goes.
Do or die to stun into a good angle on the 6 where he can hold for the 3. Oh, and he clipped the 8.
Well, he's going to get another go at it, I would think.
Probably. There is a 15 that doesn't go in any pocket other than maybe a 2-rail bank.
What's he doing here?
I might actually try to go off the right side of the 11 and try to sneak behind the 10 down at the other end of the table right here.
That isn't a bad call considering the 13 ball's blocking the 3 from that angle, or from that line up where the 10 ball is.
Yeah, he went for the 9,
and
which does block a pocket, thankfully. At that pace, it certainly wasn't guaranteed to, but fortunately for him, it did. I think that's the only reason he might see another turn at the table this rack. All right, I think he's going up to the vicinity of the 10 for a safety here, I'm guessing.
I mean, he could play it off the 14. I think he's called the 14, but I think he's mostly running for cover here. But what he doesn't want to do is, well, it's hard to say that he's running for cover if he's called the 14 and going to push it into the 3. He's going to just probably leave the 3 in play. I'm trying to work out what he's thinking here.
Yeah, see.
Oh, cue ball.
Even if he didn't scratch, that was a problem because he pushed the 3 out from behind the 13 and left it where Spec was going to have a shot on it from up there unless he got real lucky to get directly behind the 10.
I mean, your call the first time out about playing up towards the 10, there was nothing to stop him playing up towards the 10 there either, except he didn't want to be hitting the 3 ball. He wanted to keep that in that line behind the 11.
But, the 13, but yes.
Well, Spectredawn's going to...
Yeah, the 13 was providing him pretty good cover, if, leaving him good safe zones on the other end of the table where he wasn't going to be leaving a shot.
And he's took the risk there. And
that did not work out for him.
Yeah, no joy. And now Fast Eddie is the favourite from this point of view. I mean, I'm looking to see where Spectredawn can try and go. He can try and drop behind the 8, but he needs to get as close to it as he can to stop Eddie having a pot in the 14. I mean, that's a tall order.
It's very touchy. He could try an also very touchy kick safe behind the 4, but it's really easy to accidentally give up ball in hand doing that.
Well, he's called the bank up table. Well, this
Yeah,
is.
I think the 12 was always
Well,
blocking that shot.
Well, that kick onto the 12, it's off the rail. And this is probably one of these important points in the match early on to take advantage of this opportunity and not throw it away big time. I think
Yeah, absolutely. He's got awkward balls in the 12 and the 11. So getting to those as early as possible would be a good policy.
A little roll through on that 12 down the rail and cut the 11 and deal with the 10 would be one way to get it sorted out straight away. And
I expect that's what he'll attempt. If he rolls it too far, then he'll have a bailout shot on the 15 available.
Well, you're right, he's gone too far and he's just got the straight in 15.
Well, the 13 is dead straight. The 15 has an angle where he can get back down to this end of the table, so that's why I would do that one.
Needs to get up there though.
Yeah. The high English.
See, that's the problem. The problem with playing
back
distance,
toward the rail on him.
Yeah, we're playing at distance and the bigger table. You know, you put that extra pace into it with the spin, you kill the momentum, and it just drops dead on you. He's now left himself awkward, so he's now heading up and down the table. So he's covering a lot of country here.
Yeah, and you have to be now that you're going to be making probably tough shots for the rest of your run out. You have to start being honest with yourself about whether you're more likely to make each one or whether you need to be playing a safety, even though there's a pot theoretically on.
I know where I'd be heading. I'd be taking the risk of the scratch. I'd be heading up into that top right-hand corner as we look to the right of the 11 ball. Somewhere up there, it's going to leave an awkward pot for Spectredawn, who probably won't refuse it. So you've sometimes just got to take that risk and leave the guy the bait.
Yep.
But that's the safest area up table.
It really is. It's the only real safe zone he had.
Oh, he needs to get lucky here. Well, it's still awkward, but he went all out for it.
It's missable, but Spectredawn is not one of the people you want to bet on missing a pot.
Yes, I wouldn't have taken that risk. I would have run and head up in the corner.
And the worst news for Fast Eddie is that Spec didn't really have to put any juice on the cue ball there. He only had to roll it.
Yeah. Well, that's the first move he's made where I disagree with it. I wouldn't have played it. But that's all very well to say in hindsight. But he had a much easier, pretty good safety to play than going all out for it. And it means he's trailing now. And
I find that the more racks I lose on failed safeties, the less enthusiastic I am about playing safeties when there's a run out possibly available.
Well, let's hope he doesn't get that enthusiastic just because he's failed in one.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta get your head in the right space to choose the right shot for the situation, regardless of what has been going on in the match.
Well, that rack has gone against the break, and Spectredawn's got a ball, and I mean, these balls are sort of lined up on the left. They're just a bit awkward on the left side, regardless of what set of balls he's going to choose.
He's lining up a stripe here. The 10 is certainly the main problem. does go in the side. That's a very narrow pocket from that angle, but I've seen him do it. Or he can risk trying to go into the 4 right now off the 14, bump it out of the way, leave himself a shot on the 11. I think that's what he tried. But he missed the 14 because of it.
What, that safety up in the top right-hand corner, up with the top right-hand corner pocket bedhead? Well, it was as good a safety as any in that particular set of balls on the table.
By the time he was that far through his balls, then yes, I agree. Yeah. But I also agree with Bedhead's point, which is that wouldn't. There was no guarantee of
course not, but
that being effective.
Yeah, I mean, but it was the best option available at the time. I mean, the best option wasn't going all out for the pot. In my eyes, I would have been running for cover. But like I say, most of these guys, Bedhead's one of them. You know, they see a ball that has to go in a pocket. You know, and so they will push the boat out more than once, and usually once too many. Any recommended matches to watch so far? What we're talking about, semi-pro?
I mean, from this tournament, I think the one to watch is you against Albinario. Bedhead says he won't refuse a hard shot for a half-assed safety.
Well, we'll see how we'll see him eat his words against Cobra then.
Well, I mean, he's right, depending on exactly how hard the shot is, exactly how hard the safety is, and exactly how likely the safety is to pay off. You know, to produce a missed ball from your opponent. And those are all numbers you have to guess on, and you have to balance out the outcome of those guesses and do your little mental math.
Yeah, there's another factor that these guys are overlooking, and it's the fact that you know, Spectredawn can pot a ball. You know, that's agreed. But the thing is, the factor that plays into this and playing a half decent safety is the fact that the 10-foot table is not familiar to these guys, not what they're used to. And they're out their comfort zone a little bit, and a safety up in that corner would have sufficed, in my opinion. Then again, I'm never wrong, so Bedhead just doesn't want to admit I'm right. He just wants to disagree.
Swedes are fearless.
I
mean, power.
You know, the thing is that had he played that shot up table, it wouldn't have been a Bedhead cut enough for him. He would have liked it a lot tougher before he would have taken on the bait.
Alright. Meanwhile, Eddie's been running out the solids ever since Spec missed that 14 ball going for that breakout. And it's awkward. He's going to be, I think, using the 14 to try to get position on the 8 here, and it can certainly go wrong. You can end up on the 50-yard line very easily.
Nice. Well, it's worked out.
It went very right.
Yeah,
though.
I don't think that he thought that was going to end up there. I think he was thinking it was going to be maybe thicker and take it in the opposite corner, but he'll take what he gets.
I wouldn't be sure which of those he was trying for. It might be like you said, or it might be just like he played it. Have to ask him. And then if you asked me, I would definitely take credit for what happened.
Well, another good response.
Yeah, Fast Eddie is here to play. This is, you know, he's always a good player, but he's not always this good.
And he follows it up with a dry break. This time, though, I mean, there's gaps between all the balls. You know, you just got to pick your way through.
Yeah, I think the solids look a little better because the 12 primarily. The 2, I think, will squeak past the 13, but obviously it's got a much more open pocket in either the side or the opposite corner. Now the 2 doesn't go in this corner, but it still has those other 2 pockets.
And Spectredawn nudging into the, I think it was a 9 ball there. He's now giving Eddie a problem should he get to the table.
He certainly has. I think he should use the 7 to try to get position on the 5 here, because he's ended up with, the 3 doesn't pass the 5, so he needs to take it first, and he's got sort of some narrow windows. Not super narrow, but some missable windows to get on the 5.
Well, if he's going to go forward, that's the gap he's got to get in that line there. And that'll do it. Oh,
he's done it well. So the 12 is a little bit everywhere he wants to be on the 3. If the 12 weren't there, you'd expect him to roll the 5 in and get a nice shot on the 3 in the opposite corner.
Now, Hairpig, your mouthpiece just a tad away from your mouth.
Move the mic a little bit away.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right.
Maybe not as far as that.
Testing, testing.
That's better. Well, he's now got one of these really tricky shots. The cutback's bad enough, but how is he going to get around here and have a shot in this 8 ball? I mean, loads of open space, but he well, he's going the other way.
He's got the 1 ball. He's got the 1 ball remaining.
Where's the 1 ball? Oh, it's up table. Well, the actual, even though he missed that was a good outcome because he's got his 2 balls right next to the 8, so he's not going to have to do an awful lot of work if he gets a sight in either of those 2 balls. So Eddie's got to be, clever here, and there's 2 balls to hide behind easily. Now I wonder if Eddie, I don't know about you, but I wonder if Eddie's going to, remember when to stop potting balls, as they say.
Well, for me, I'd be playing position on my first opportunity to play a stop shot on the 9 and leave the cue ball stuck tight behind the 13. So,
yeah, because that sort of shot will bring the 9 into play, and then if he gets ball in hand, then you'll have every opportunity to run out.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get ball in hand, that's where it'd be better to play that shot while he still has a lot of balls on the table, because it'll be that much less likely for Spec to accidentally leave him safe, basically.
I don't know whether I don't know whether he's played for the 10, but he might. Can he see enough of that? What ball is that? The 12. See, he can see the 12 when he could hide behind the 9 right now.
He could. It's a little touchy.
2 in 1 shot, though. He could cut it to the
available.
Cut it to the pocket, and if it goes in, it goes in, and if it doesn't, if he gets in the corner, but Spectredawn's going to see the 1. This is a bit sort of it's a bit sort of in between as to where he's going to finish. Well, he's got the pot, and now he can.
Now he's certainly got a stop shot safety available on the 9.
Yeah, he should be punching that away.
And he better play it now. If he tries something silly like a tree-topped cut shot on the 14, then he'll deserve what he gets. There he goes.
Well, this is at the moment it's fallen into place here for Eddie. The outcome will be decided pretty much in this shot, I would think.
Slim, I have never been involved in commenting on big action streams. I've commented a little bit on my local area pool tour, but I mean, those streams have even fewer viewers than Hugh does, so I'd be shocked if you had ever encountered it.
So, ball in hand. Now, now this is the shot you don't want, having to play the 9 and running into the 14.
Well, if he doesn't like his angles from here, he could just bump the 14 and end up behind the 9. Play a very high percentage safety that way. But from here, I think you need to try to take this opportunity to run out. If you play another safe, you won't necessarily get another opportunity this good.
Yeah, that was going to be the problem as to where the 14 ball was going to finish.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred to play the 13 on that last shot and try to get a better angle on the 9 to where I could play it and hold position for the 14.
Now, again, there's nothing wrong with dragging into this ball here and pushing it down the rail to the pocket. It's not going to leave anything easy for Spectredawn.
It'll leave a straight in 3 ball if you don't have great touch.
Well, he's gone all out for the pot, but that's the problem now is he's got to dig out a semi-bedhead cut.
Yeah, bedhead, I'm here for the clout. You know it. I think with a lot of low right, he can hold this for the 2, or for the 8. Where 2 came from there. If he tries to pot it plain ball, I think he's gonna... I guess he can hold that too.
Well, he needs to go through with the shot though. You see, that's the only worry I had there, is that he's trying to baby it and he wasn't really positive there with the line.
Yeah, those very soft shots with a plain cue ball, you will undercut them more often than not in this game. You really need to adjust your aim angle to hit it thinner if you're going to play it that way.
Well, this is going against the break again to give Spectredawn the lead.
Never underestimate a junkie. Well, so if you've been watching local Virginia pool tours who have streaming on, I guess, YouTube, I think YouTube, then you might have seen me commentating matches. One Pocket Slim.
Well, a couple of balls have gone, and a couple of balls are a problem. Well, 2 sets of balls, both stripes. Well, not a problem in these 2 at the bottom if you get behind them on the left side, because I'm pretty certain they both go even without looking.
And I think he probably intends to use the 5 to get position on the 4 on the distant pocket past the 13 ball.
Obviously, Spectredawn assessing the situation with these balls that are married up together, going for the solids, because they're all there apart from that awkward one. 4 ball. Now, is he going to... Well, he's got maybe a bit more angle than he would have liked, but is he going to try and push this 4 ball down past the 11? Is that the 11? No, it's not. It's the 13 again.
If he's straight enough... I don't think he's... Yeah, he wasn't straight enough to hold that ball.
Well, this is one of these
now
ones.
He's got tough cuts to choose from on the 4.
Played it well.
No such thing as a tough cut for this guy. So now the 14 looks like it could be in the way of the... Yeah, he didn't play for the same pocket. I would have been tempted to play for the same pocket, but this side pocket was a much smarter choice.
Well, that's the first break now. We've got a 2-rack gap. Eddie going closer. Well, I don't know whether he's been as close as that to the rail, but he's now moved it out. But now got what to do on his break.
Who says I don't charge semi-pro? You don't know what I do for a living.
It's dry again. I mean, these balls are pretty good. I mean, if you're going to be critical, the one near the 8 might be a wee bit awkward in one way or another, but other than that, they're all pretty good.
It goes past the 8, and so
yeah.
I don't think you'd view that as a major problem.
He's looking like stepping up the pace here a little bit, Spectredawn. He's gone a bit straight there, though.
He's got options.
He'll just kill it and play the 9.
Yep.
I actually woke up this morning at 7 o'clock. I think I had about a 7 or 8 hours sleep last night, the first I've had for months and months. Yeah, he's
got a little too much angle on both of these balls. I think he may have to play the 14 in the corner next, past the 7.
Well, it looks as if he's decided it's going in the side. Loads of open space for the 8, so...
From this angle, the side is definitely looking better. And another dry break run out here.
Yeah, Spectredawn has raised the stakes big time. And such a short run to 8. The odds for Eddie in such a short space of time, it has to be said, have now stacked up against him big time.
Yeah, if you don't count dry breaks, which I don't because the break is such a crapshoot in this game, then there really haven't been many mistakes this match from either player, and yet Spectredawn has a 2-1 lead.
Talking of dry breaks, Eddie comes to the table. Spectredawn's dry, but well, the 2-ball goes. 4-ball is a problem as far as the solids go. Stripes, well, the pink 12 is
12 is the biggest problem for the stripes, I think.
Well, the pink 12 really hasn't got a pocket, let's be honest.
See, he broke out those balls, but the 10 already went, so I'm not sure if that was a great idea.
This is going to change things up a bit.
Yeah, it actually worked out. Parked in perfect position to solve the 12-ball issue.
Thing is, depending, I don't know whether this 12 might hit the 3 and it'll run down to the 4.
I think it might go through the gap, in which case he could get unlucky if it ties up with the 9. Or he could get unlucky in that he doesn't have to have a nice next shot after this, because his cue ball could marry up with the 7 or the 5. Well, it did go through the gap straight into the pocket.
Well, a bonus ball, and what's even better about this is he can just kill the 9, and he should be on that 14. 14 comfortably goes.
Yeah, he'd rather draw back a little bit so that he doesn't have to run into the 4 with the cue ball off the 14.
Exactly.
That'll help him play position on the 13. I think he got there.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, he did.
Well, once again, the crucial part of this shot that he's about to play is he cannot leave himself dead straight in this 11 ball. He'd much rather be cutting it back towards the pocket slightly so the cue ball's taking the right path to get on his last ball up table.
Straight's not good, and the angle where his cue ball would go into the 2 would be even worse.
That will do nicely.
But this is good.
Yeah, this is a must. He's got to see this through. And of course the big one is that last ball and getting to the 8.
Yeah, the 3 ball is certainly an obstacle to be dealt with in this second positional shot here.
You know, there's nothing he has to do with this shot than follow through. I think he has
enough angle to just float into position.
He's missing the 14, if that's a 14, whatever ball it is. I'm not even bothering to look. But
15.
No, it's the 15. So this is it. Now, where does he try to get this cue ball? Because if he just tries to come past into that, well, he's got a narrow window nearer the 5 ball. Obviously would be better to play a cut that way in the 8 from distance though. Or does he want to try and run down the table so he can see a sight up the table? This is going to be a problem. No, he's trying to get in the gap. And he's got the...
Judged that well. Yeah, there was none of his options for getting on the 8 didn't include a possibility of disaster.
Good evening to Tommy.
It was always going to be a strong possibility of hooking himself.
Again, not rushing into the shot, getting himself set till he's happy with the line.
And of those missable options, he chose the one that involved moving the cue ball the least, and I think that was probably very wise.
Well, that was
out for him.
Needless to say, vital for Eddie. And now he's on his own break, and he needs a ball and a shot. Well, he's got the 3 ball kicked in, but he's left. I don't think with many options other than the stripes, whether I likes him or not.
Well, you have to like him more than the solids here, I think.
Because you've got those 2 over the side pocket. The 10 ball's reasonably open.
And an unmissable starting shot on the 14.
And
he can actually play for the 10 next.
Yeah, every other ball up table's open as well. So I mean, this is it's a good setup to find his way out here.
Didn't get on the 10, so now I think getting on the 10 is where it can go wrong.
Well, I would just maybe check the cue ball a bit through the side rail there off this 11, see if I could hold it for the 10, and if not, I've got a bailout ball anyway, so they might as well have a go at trying to get on it.
There's definitely an option.
I mean, now's the right time to do that, because he might not get a better chance of getting reasonably good in that 10. He's finished a bit squarish.
He was playing your shot, I think, but he
yes.
Came up short or not enough check.
If he was brave, he'd run into the 7, but it's a test of nerves at this stage. So now you have to look at what the alternative is. Well, the alternative is, if that's a 15 ball over the left side, then that's the easiest one he's going to play. He could play it next, and then get on the 10. Pretty much a guarantee he'll be good in the 10.
Or he could take out the 9 and 13 first, and if he gets straight in on the 15 and the side again, then 15, 10, 8 makes a nice little end pattern.
You see, that is an option, but I'm worried about the point of view that, well, I'm worried about that as well. He'll take that, because that wasn't the safety he played.
Steve Bedhead, you got to learn to get on his level for these safeties when there are open runouts.
Yeah, I was worried about the fact he might not have another good opportunity to get there if he messed up. And well, without getting the words out, he messed up.
Larry and Bedhead both agreeing with me about saving the 15 and 10 for last before the 8. And by agreeing with me, I mean they probably typed that before I said it, but I wasn't looking at the chat, so I'll take credit too.
Well, Spectredawn's got the hit, and I think he'll be more than pleased with the outcome because Eddie's got no option. He's going to have to go all out for the 9-ball, I think. Unless he tries to stun the 9-ball and jack himself in behind those 2 balls in the left-hand corner pocket again. This time deliberately, but it'd be a brave man to try that.
Very touchy from 9 feet away from the first ball he's hitting. There's no rolling ball shot that will result in that safety. You'd have to judge a stun from that distance, which is never easy.
Well, it could have finished worse. The 2-ball obviously is on. There's very little other option here for Spectredawn. I think he's just sizing up where he's heading next, as and when he pots this 2-ball. But of course, the safety net for Eddie's the 1-ball. It's not going anywhere quickly where it's stuck.
It's not, and although it wasn't intentional, Eddie's demonstrating how you want your misses to be relatively early in the run out if you can. Oh, he accidentally pocketed a ball on that.
Called safety.
Yeah, it's still a safety in 8-ball. 10-ball is where that messes you up. 10-ball, if you accidentally pocket 1 after calling safe, then your opponent can put you back in.
That's where I get mixed up. I get mixed up early in the tournament with that one.
That said, I guess Eddie would probably be shooting from here anyway, because if he put Spectredawn back in, he'd have a shot on the 5. He's called a combo, but I don't know if he's thinking primarily about playing it or if he's more calling it just in case and playing a safety.
Well, I don't think it's a good idea to go up table like that. Has he got? Did he call it good? Because had he failed, he was leaving Spectredawn on the 1. So everything about that shot was dicey. But he who dares wins, as they say.
Yeah, I guess if he had missed it, the good news could have been that he might have been leaving it blocking the pocket for the 1.
But the pressure doesn't diminish. Eddie's got another one. And there he's had a lash. That's where he's lost his discipline there. He's had a lash at that. And
yeah, he did. He didn't really have a more controlled path to get good on a next shot that I was able to identify.
Yeah, he got his stroke it though. How many extensions you get left? I never even noticed that, Bedhead. Maybe he's down to 0 in terms of extensions. Yes, well that's probably the other reason he panicked. I never even noticed that.
Yeah, that long carom shot he played to pocket the 13 in the corner, he used up all his time lining that up. It looks like Spec is just barely on the 1. Was able to clear the 6 out of trouble, and so now it's looking like Spec's rack to lose.
6, 5, 7, because I think is the angle good enough to hold for the 7? Or is he taking the 5? Oh, he's good enough in it as well, so he's got his choices to where he's going. 8-ball, wide open, should be on the hill.
6 in the corner, I think, after the 7. Oh, he didn't play it that way. See, I disagree with this
Oh.
because if you're on the side pocket on the, on the wrong side of it, this is tougher than playing it in the corner if you had been relatively straight.
Well, I mean, look at this. The room he's got. He's got to get this line and the weight right. And how many times do players do that?
That speed control can always go wrong because, you look at the distance that ball was covering, 17, 18 feet.
Well, this will test Spectre's nerve. No doubt. Then it goes. So
Well,
Spectredawn.
nerves are what they are, but he doesn't miss that shot often in the challenge rooms, I'll tell you what.
Yes, you've guessed it. It's dry. Quick reminder, guys, before you all run away. What time's that? 5:30. We've got the winner's side match later on. Is it 7 o'clock? I think it is. Between Sergeresh and Hazard. That'll be the next match tonight. And then we've got Stubb tomorrow night against Jeeves.
That Hazard match seems like it could really go either way.
Well, it certainly could.
Both those players capable of a very high level. Both of them occasionally capable of a less impressive level.
Well, that sums it up, yep. Well, this is the old one of a few last chance saloons that Eddie's going to have to visit for the remainder of this match.
Well, I think the solids are sitting pretty well for the rest of this run out. Clearly on the 6. Can follow through for the 2, I think, is the only shot that makes sense here. He didn't follow it through.
Well,
he may have overthought this one because...
You see, now he's gone... You see, that's him running into a ball, and now he's got himself on the wrong side of the 2.
Yeah, just barely more angle than you really wanted to be dealing with to hold for the 3.
Well, now I think he's going to... Well, he's done well there, because I didn't think it was going to be quite as easy to hold for that 3, but it's a bit deceiving, the perspective.
Yeah, he produced a good touch when he needed one there.
This is still another tricky one.
I think he'll just follow off one rail for the 8 in the pocket past the 9.
I think the worry here is the angle he's got here.
Well, but he'll use the short rail, and I think he can roll straight toward the 8 off the short rail. He's putting some inside English on it, which I think brings the 13 into play, so not sure I would be doing that. Oh no, it just got him further over to the angle he needed.
Well, he's taking it aside. Well, I would be, I'd be rethinking my options here, Eddie.
That pocket opening is minuscule. I would be playing it
in the
corner.
This cuts up into the corner every day of the week.
Yeah, corner is very forgiving from that angle.
He's held his nerve.
Minuscule pocket opening.
Well, he just has to keep potting balls. Simple as that. Might be obvious, but that's what he has to do. Back to within 2.
Now he was aiming at mostly at the second ball on that break, but I think he clipped the head ball like a one pocket break there. Not sure if that was intentional.
Another dry one. Oh, clearly the 5 and 2, as far as the solids go, could be a problem, but Spectredawn's decided he's going for them. So he's got to find a way to get a nudge. I don't believe he would want to try and make some sort of combo with them because they're nowhere near set, although there's a little gap. But
well, the 5 would be cutting the 2 pretty thin, and so the 5 would end up flying. Yeah, I don't think that's what he'll probably want to do. He'll probably want to use the 6 to either split them open or play position, short side position on the 5.
And when he plays that shot, the chances are he's going to be running into the 2, so he'll just brush it in the 5 ball and keep the 2 adjacent to that corner pocket. He doesn't want to hit it too heavy and push it up the table and probably end up with no shot.
I think the better thing to play for, if you can manage it, is to make the 6 and bump the 5, because then you're always going to be on the 2.
That's what he's maybe contemplating that right now. Well, that'll
got
do
the
it.
5, and he's on both balls.
That works.
I think he might have a little multi-rail position from the 2 to the 3 here. If he gets up near the 15, then he can use heavy left English to come around the rails. As long as he doesn't get an unlucky scratch in the pocket past the 8, he should have an easy time getting through here to get good on the 3.
Into the gap, not behind the 8 ball though. I think the little brush has helped here.
Yeah, he made it through.
And he's got enough angle just to push through and out.
And that's going to be your match.
Well, in the end, Spectredawn's potting abilities are what's taking him through, finding that way out.
I didn't find a lot of faults in his pattern play either.
I wouldn't say it was a comfortable win, because given another day and a better run of the ball in the break, Eddie, well, he's got 5 racks, and I don't know whether he'll be happy with that or not, but I mean, he made a couple of little errors, but he was fairly solid early on. But it's Spectredawn that goes through.
Yeah, so he made some good runouts to make sure that he was keeping a little pressure on Spectredawn.
Let's just have a look at the bracket and see where that goes in the one-loss side. Well, Spectredawn is now through to play Shibo, and Spectredawn will be the favourite for that one. Again, Shibo is good enough to give Spectredawn a game, but once again, I think Spectredawn's potting should take him through in that match. The one-loss side, we've got Snake Eyes and Albinario. Again, Albinario should be too strong, but Snake Eyes on his day is good enough to cause problems as well. All of these players are all in with a chance. They're not favourites, but they are good enough to give problems, especially just in a short run to 8. The winner of that match with Albinario and Snake Eyes will play. Who will they play? They'll play the winner of the Spectredawn Shibo match. And further up on the one-loss side, not a lot happening. But on the winner's side, we've now got to pretty much round 4. We've got Mr. Bill Semi-Pro on Sunday night, I think that is, 7 PM. And further down, Bedhead is still waiting on the the Keith Cobra match resolving itself, and that'll be Cobra that's going through to play Bedhead, and Cheeky Chico is in round 3 waiting to play the winner of Stubb and Jeeves, which is tomorrow night at 7 PM. And then further down we've got Sergeresh lined up with Hazad, and that is going to be at 7 PM. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to go and get a cup of coffee. That's about it, and then we'll be back in about 20 minutes time for the match between Sergeresh and Hazad.
All right, I'm I'm going to jump off, so I will possibly be tuning into the stream, but no more commentary for me today, I don't think.
Okay, thanks for joining. Same to you guys, and if you can, join us later on. And if you can't, it'll be on YouTube anyway. So take care, and I'll see you in a little while. See you later here, Pig.
Thanks a lot, Hugh. See ya.